Here's a short video explaining what the mass bug is. It's kind of hard to explain in chat, so here's a way to clearly show it. So what we have here is an ACU, a couple of PGens, and our mass extractor. If we look at our economy right now, we're producing 3 mass, so plus 2 from mass extractor and plus 1 from ACU, and we're using 0. When we begin upgrading our mass extractor, we see that our economy reads minus 10, which is exactly what the mass extractor is using, and still plus 3 again, 2 from mass extractor and 1 from ACU. And if we actually look at the mass extractor itself, it says minus 8, which is a difference between minus 10 and plus 2. Straightforward. So let me skip ahead to when our mass storage goes down to 0. So now we're at 80 mass. Situation is still the same, minus 8, which is the difference on the mass extractor. So now I see what happens when we hit 0. We're now only making plus 1 mass. So as soon as the mass, our total mass that we have to use goes to 0, this mass extractor stops producing mass as it's upgrading. Still says minus 8 here, but that is not actually what's happening to our economy. So here is basically the bug. So what can happen to you if you start upgrading a bunch of mass extractors thinking you have a nice production and your mass storage hits 0, those mass extractors all stop working, so you can completely stall your economy with only your ACU making your mass. And you can see that upgrading with plus 1 mass is much harder than with plus 3. So now let's see how to prevent the mass bug. So once again, we have 2 mass extractors, both at T1, and let's begin upgrading. So now we have plus 5, 2 mass extractors and an ACU, and minus 10, 1 mass extractor upgrading. So we're getting close to 0 storage. If we pause the mass extractor, the mass extractor basically doesn't upgrade anymore, and now we can upgrade it with other units. So the mass extractor, even though we will soon hit 0 on our storage, see we just hit 0, it's still producing plus 5 because it is paused. So one thing you might ask, can you do this pause thing after I already stopped producing? And to see that that doesn't work, I'll unpause it, and that made it from plus 5 to plus 3 because this mass extractor stopped producing. Pausing it again does not solve the problem. So I'm hoping this was useful. This is really a noob killer, and maybe at some point it will be fixed in 3599.